up, everybody? It's Aaron here with Robert, and this is Get Your Geek On, and we are doing our review of the newest Disney Plus series, What If, Episode 2.
What if T'Challa was a Starlord?
Yes. And Chadwick Boseman's last performance, I believe?
Well, he recorded, I believe that the story I read is he recorded audio for 4 different What If episodes, and he's playing a different version of T'Challa in each one.
Yeah.
So this is the first one. This is the one that centers around him. He's appearing in the other 3, but this is his episode, right?
I'm so sad still.
I'm very sad. I mean, we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of his passing, which feels so, I mean... It feels raw.
It does.
And you know, it's really interesting. And I just, a quick story that's not about What If.
Sidetracked already.
Because, well, I think, you know, it kind of plays into this. So, Carrie Fisher, famously played Princess Leia, passed away right around the same time that Rogue One was coming out in theater.
Yeah.
And so, actually, like, I went to see that movie on opening night. And it ends with this shot of, you know, Carrie Fisher. You know, it's like, what is this? It's hope. Yeah. You know, and it's just like this really, it's kind of a beautiful moment in the story. And, you know, and I really enjoyed it. And then, you know, she passed like just a few days later. Yep. And I remember I went to see it in theater again, and that moment just hit so differently. Because it was like, oh, dagger. Yeah. And this, you know, there wasn't a lot of moments like that with this, listening to Chadwick, but I mean, it's clearly him, you know, like you can really pick out that it's his voice, that he's very enthusiastic about this. And there was a moment at the end with him and Michael Rooker before they go back to Earth, when Yondu is like, you know, he's kind of wondering where's his place in the world, and he basically says, you know, anywhere on any world, that's where you would fit in. Yeah. And I teared up a little bit. I did. I was like, and I'm an emotional guy. I know. Like, I tear up at a lot more things than most people, but I did. I was like, oh, that got me a little bit. Yeah. And I love, in this timeline, in this What If, and we're going to get into it, but, you know, like, his dad's still alive. Yeah, his dad's still alive. They got to go. Everybody gets to meet everybody. I know.
So, again, this is What If. T'Challa gets picked up as a child instead of Starlord because Yondu sent his subordinates to go pick him up instead of going himself.
That was the point is that instead of Yondu going to do it, he sent
it was your favorite person.
He sent Kraglin, and they
Taserface.
Yeah, they don't actually make that joke, which I'm so glad because I can't stand that joke.
I know you can't. No. I was hoping they were going to say it just to make you mad.
Yeah,
like, please say it.
But he sends Kraglin and Taserface, and I love the joke is that all humans look alike to them. Like all, you know, it's like all Terrans look alike, you know. And it's like, what are you talking about? But he decides to keep him because he wants to, you know, kind of explore the universe. And we cut to what I think is a hilarious scene. Or actually, this was the opening scene. The opening scene with Korath, the Pursuer, Jaimin Hansu coming back to voice the character and doing great. And, you know, it's that moment of, like, you might know me by another name. And he reveals his mask. He's like, it's Starlord, the legendary outlaw! You know, and I love it. Like, he's just that whole... Everything in that scene is he's like fawning over him, and he's like, "Oh, we get to fight? Can I join your team? Okay, it's all filled up. Okay, we'll fight." I was having so much fun.
I'm sorry.
With that scene, and of course, Starlord does defeat him. T'Challa defeats him, and then Yondu comes in and, you know, kills all the other guys. And basically, we find out that instead of, you know, trying to get rich, Starlord, you know, our T'Challa version of Starlord is basically like, well, we're going to use this to kickstart this dying star and save this planet. Yeah. And you get the sense that this is just what they do. Like, this is now...
They're heroes now.
This is now what they do. And it's really interesting because, you know, obviously there's that dynamic of, you know, are you, you know, nature versus nurture? Like, who are you? Is it because of the environment you grow up in, or is it because of the intrinsic, you know, your intrinsic nature? Yeah. And I think, you know, for most people, it's a mixture of both. Yeah, like there's a little bit of both in that. But this is really exploring that, you know, T'Challa really grows up to be this person who prioritizes helping people. That's his driving force, and he has influenced the entire universe including
Thanos.
Which was an incredible reveal.
I thought so too.
Like,
I was amazed.
My jaw dropped because you get Korath being like, "What about that time you saved the universe from Thanos, wiping out half of existence?" And then Thanos just shows up and is like, "Well, he convinced me, that there are better ways to reallocate the resources."
But I love how he's still like, "But I think my plan would have been worked.
I do. Like,
love it.
He's still like, it was very efficient though.
Yeah, it would have worked.
And he just like keeps bringing it up. I did appreciate
Captain
that.
Genocide.
Yeah, that was funny that I kept calling him that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved that in this version of the universe, T'Challa becoming Starlord
was a better thing.
Changes everything. I mean, if he changes Thanos' mind, Earth doesn't get invaded by the Chitauri, so maybe the Avengers never come together.
The Infinity Stones are still out there, separate technically.
I mean, there's several Infinity Stones that are in play, but maybe the Dark Elves still try and do the convergence, with that, but Thor stops them. And it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting.
I will say this: Nebula being herself.
Yeah, she does have a little bit. Like, you can see that there was a period still, and there's still the history that they talk about between her and her father.
I've been trying to send him to counseling.
Yeah.
I was laughing at that part. I was like, really?
I really enjoyed, this was just...
It was fun.
It was a delightful episode.
It really, really was.
It totally, like, the first one, the Captain Carter episode was kind of a little bit more down the line. It was like, okay, the difference is... we swapped out one super soldier for another.
Yeah.
And there's not, yes, there were some story element beats that were different, instead of trying to, arm Hydra and take over the world, it was, I'm going to bring this beast in, from another dimension. But ultimately, it was still a battle with Red Skull and Hydra, that kind of thing. This is just completely different.
Oh, yeah.
And I really enjoyed it.
I did too. I love the artwork still.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. I think it works better for the space stuff because it is more cosmic.
Yeah.
So I love all of that. I still love that we get, and I want to see that with Seth Green still.
Yeah, as Howard the Duck. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We get Howard the Duck. We still get Cosmo.
Yeah. Most of the voice cast really returned for this. I mean, you got Josh Brolin as Thanos. Yeah. You got Michael Rooker, Chadwick Boseman, Sean Gunn.
Karen Gillan still in Nebula?
Yeah, Karen Gillan was Nebula. The only one I don't think, Drax, Dave Bautista did not return.
Yeah, I didn't think that was
as Drax. And I think Benicio del Toro did not come back. It didn't sound exactly like
that. It didn't sound like it. But overall, I love the artwork. I love the story. Yeah. I think this was a fun story. And I still like that we still get the whole Yondu trying to hide, taking the person back. Like, he hid Starlord from going back, and he hid T'Challa going back. And I like that that's kind of a running thing. No matter what, Yondu thinks he knows best, so he keeps you to himself. Like, I know better, so you'll be fine. This is why I'm telling these white lies, essentially. Yeah,
and I did love that, by the end of the story, like, there's that moment where T'Challa's really upset with Yondu for lying to him about, his home being destroyed. But he moves on from it pretty quickly because he's balancing the entire experience of being with Yondu. And he's like, no, this is a good person, and he is part of my family, and maybe he made a bad choice, but I'm not going to let that wreck our relationship.
Because he looks for the good in people, I think. No matter what, like, he looked at Thanos and was like, we're going to talk about this. Yeah. And convinced Thanos, nah, you don't need to do genocide. And I still like that. Yeah. We almost have a good guy Thanos because he was willing to sacrifice himself to save the rest of the people to get off.
Yeah, I mean, he was, fighting Cull Obsidian and Proxima Midnight by himself. And we can see
his own, by the way, too.
They're a little bit... They're a match for him. I mean, it looks like they're about to take him down before Nebula shows back up and...
her brother, though, I feel bad for him. He always I feel like he gets the short end of the stick.
Oh, Cull Obsidian?
Yeah.
I was laughing. Oh, no, you're talking about Ebony Maw.
Oh, Ebony Maw. Yeah, no, not Maw. That was her brother's the other one.
With the staff. No. They're married.
That's her husband. Okay.
Yeah, that's I can't remember it now.
I don't remember any of the names.
Corvus Glaive.
Yeah,
that's it.
He always gets a short end of the stick.
He got shot a couple times. I was laughing about Cull Obsidian though, because I'm just thinking every movie he's been in, like, he's died in a really unique way. Like in Infinity War, like the Hulkbuster, you know, like Banner got his arm and he like flew into the shield. And then in Endgame, I'm pretty sure he gets stomped on by Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So it's like he always gets his death scene. In this one, it's like a giant plant just like explodes through him.
Yeah, look at her husband though. It's like he gets beat by Captain America by himself. He goes and he fights in the main war.
Well, no, it's Natasha that stabs him.
Oh yeah, Natasha stabs him.
Yeah.
So Natasha, so a human, takes him down.
Yep.
And this way he just gets shot point blank in the chest. Just like
a couple times.
Was it a couple times?
Because Nebula does it, and then I think he gets it later too. I think somebody else takes him down.
I mean, I'm just like, dude, like you suck.
Yeah.
Like you can't do anything. You keep getting shot.
Oh, poor Corvus.
So yeah, I liked it though. I mean, I think everything was perfect. I did like that we got. Again, when T'Challa talks, people listen. You know, especially when he breaks out of the glass and Ma's about to like kill him again, right? Because he puts him in the cuffs, and Karina saves him. She's I like what you said about cages or whatever.
Yeah, but not putting people in cages.
Yeah, but not people in cages. And I'm like, that's touching. Like the one line, he knows what to say. And I love, like, in my mind, I think this, like, I know he was talking and I know the Collector's like, oh, you bore us or whatever. But after she said that line, I was like, he was never talking to the Collector. He was talking to her, I think. Because he knew who the person in the room was that needed to like grab their attention. Because he knew he couldn't convince the Collector. He knew he couldn't convince Maul.
Well, and I really like the end of the episode with the Collector very much mirroring Thor Ragnarok, because you have the Collector and the Grandmaster are brothers in the comics. And I'm you know, they've hinted sort of that like that's true in this universe also.
Yeah.
And, you know, at the end of Thor Ragnarok, you know, he's like surrounded by all these people that he's been keeping enslaved. And he's like, let's call it a tie.
Yeah.
And in this one you have, you know, the Collector again now surrounded by all these people that he's been keeping enslaved. And he's like, no, I've been putting a roof over your head. Like, let's talk this, you know, and you're like, no, you're not talking your way out of this.
Yeah, you're dead.
Let's talk though very briefly about his collection of items that he has. Including not only Hela's helmet, but also
the shield.
Captain America's shield. Mjolnir is there, which I think maybe a slight missed opportunity to have T'Challa be able to wield Mjolnir.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Like, because clearly he's worthy. Like, this dude is worthy.
That would have been cool. Like, pick it up like, why am I like, and he just like tosses it like whatever. Like, that would have been funny to me.
Like, it would have been a fun... Either a throwaway gag or have him fight with it. Like, either one. Like, maybe just have, like, a moment where he's picking a weapon, and he picks it up, and he, like, holds it, and he's like, nah, and puts it back and grabs something else. Like, that would have been super fun.
That would have been amazing. I think that was a missed opportunity. And the dagger from the Dark Elves he had. Yep. Mm-hmm. I forgot what he called that stone arm. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure that was Korg's arm. That's what I thought it was.
The way he says it, a very talkative, whatever the species is. And you're like, that sounds like Korg.
That's what I thought.
By the way, not cool that Korg doesn't live in this universe.
I mean, he might be alive, just missing an arm.
Well, he says he took it off a corpse, so I kind of believe him.
Yeah. He doesn't lie too often.
But I will say, again, the whole episode I thought was a lot of fun.
It was.
It was everything I want What If to be.
Yeah.
Because it is, like, totally random and different, and it's like, you know, how do you even explain that they pick up the wrong kid, and they just kind of like, well, we did, and we're moving past it. Don't worry about it.
I don't like that.
Because this is the story we want to tell.
Yeah. And again, they don't know, and they don't care enough. They're subordinates that just don't give a damn.
2 sea holes, 2 hear holes, 1 food hole. It's the same.
The same thing, right? Like, whatever. But I did like at the very end, so commenting, T'Challa's back with his family. Yeah. They're all together. Thanos still trying to talk up, what's her name?
Denai Guerrera's character.
He was flirting.
Yeah, the head of the Dora Milaje.
He was flirting, though.
Yeah, and
Thanos trying to get his groove on.
He's like, you know, I mean, I would have wiped out half the universe, you know, like, it's not genocide because it would have been random.
I know, I loved it. And then Nebula was like, Dad! Like,
yeah.
That was just perfect.
Funny. That was a good
And then at the end of it, though, Starlord, our Starlord,
Chris Pratt, Peter Quill is working at Dairy Queen, which I thought was a fun callback to, Guardians 2, where, you know, like, that's the town that his mom is from. Clearly, that's where he's from. plant that Ego put there is like around the Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's working, he's mopping, he's listening to some tunes on his Walkman.
Yes.
And who shows up but Ego?
The living planet.
And in this universe, maybe we stopped Thanos. But I don't know if we're gonna stop Ego in this universe.
Right. This one might be a little
there's
bit
no
tougher.
Guardians there to convince him, and
Peter may have joined him even.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe unwillingly or maybe willingly. Who knows?
Exactly.
But yeah, we don't get to see that story. That's a story for another time.
Another what if, maybe.
Maybe.
So let us know down below, guys, what you think, what you like so far of these 2 episodes of What If. I'm enjoying it. I think Robert's enjoying it.
Yeah, I loved this episode. I thought the first one was good. But I really enjoyed this one. Part of that, I'm sure, is the emotional connection to having Chadwick Boseman back. But it was also it was a super fun story, and it had that Thanos reveal. Like, I literally, my jaw dropped. Yeah. I think I watched it before you did. That's when I texted you. Yeah. And I was like, bro, What If is crazy this week. Like, this is amazing. I love it. Yeah. And that was the moment that, clearly, and it was a very strong episode all throughout. Yeah. I really enjoyed, the dynamic between T'Challa and Yondu, and their kind of built family. Korath was just so much fun throughout it. And he's like, at the end, he's trying to convince people that, if you had to put a label on it, we're best friends.
Yeah. I was like,
it's like, you just met this guy.
All right, cool. I like you.
But I thought he was a lot of fun. It was a great way to bring him back.
It really was. So, guys, let us know what you think. And, of course, like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube, both at official GYGO. And on that note, stay geeky, guys, and get your geek.